So before starting on with today's session, we are meeting after a long time. So I have something to say to you. Today, basically, we are going to start the session with a small quote. Right. So let me just say the quote for you. Quote, or we can say the thought of the day. So let me start on with the thought of the day. The thought says, you don't have to be great to start. I repeat, you don't have to be great to start, but in order to be great, you need to start. I repeat, you don't have to be great in order to start, but in order to be great, you need to start. Right, everyone? So every day the English class will start on with a small quote or a thought of the day. Today's quote or a thought I have already said. Tomorrow it is the duty of Manasvi. Manasvi, you will be the one tomorrow telling us the thought of the day. Right? So every day I will be asking one person, okay, to come up with a thought. Right, everyone? So let's get started with the session. Let me just share the screen with you now. There are still 3 to 4 students, guys. If you could just drop in a text for your classmates, right? Okay, so let me just share the screen. There you go. Okay, so let's get started. So today's session, today's class is about the chapter which is the snake and the mirror, right, everyone? So now the snake and the mirror, it is very, very, peculiar, or you can say very, very self-explanatory from the title itself. It says the snake and the mirror, right? So when we talk about the snake and the mirror, this is about a person, right, who is actually going on with the experience. He sees a snake who is actually admiring his beauty in the mirror. So without further go, let's get started. And I won't give you any much of the brief of this chapter. Once we start reading it, you will get to know what insight it is. Right. So Manasvi, I'm unmuting you. You can start before you read. Okay.
Before you read, do you like to look at yourself in the mirror?
Honestly, we're not
What
able to hear you. Any problems in the sound, I think? Just give me a minute. Speak again, Manasvi.
ma'am, is it hearable now? Audible now?
Yeah, it's audible now. Thank you. Proceed, Manasvi.
Do you like to look at yourself in the mirror? What do you think about at such times? Have you ever seen a dog, a cat, or a bird look into a mirror? What do you think it sees? Now read this humorous story about a doctor, a snake, and a mirror.
Okay, so when we talk about before you read, what does it say? It say that do you actually look yourself in the mirror? Everybody, we have this tendency, especially in girls. I think now in boys also we have this tendency of looking ourselves and admiring our beauty in the mirror, right? But have you ever seen any creature, any dog or a pet or anyone looking, himself or herself in the mirror and admiring their beauty? Have you ever gone through this? I want everybody's answer in the text, please. I'm opening the chat box as well. So if this happens with you also, have you ever seen anybody, any cat or any dog or anything like this admiring his or her beauty in the mirror? Does it happen with you as well? Let me open the chat box. Let me see how many of you are saying something. Okay, so probably I am seeing no. Okay, so yeah, Ananya says I saw a bird doing this, and Aditya says I saw a cat doing this. Okay, so now this is very, very common. If you see, common in the sense like we are humans, we admire our beauty, so why not the pets? Why not the animals? Right? They also have the tendency of doing the same. Okay, so this chapter is all about a snake admiring his or her beauty. So when we talk about a snake, usually snake is like what? Snake. Whenever we talk about a snake, we get troubled, or we panic with the name, we get scared, we get fear, but when we talk about this snake, right, It is beautiful. It is very, very, if you have seen any of the videos in Nat Geo, Nat Geo is a channel, if you are aware of that. Okay, if you watch geographical channels on the television or something like this, or even if you watch videos on YouTube, the snake is actually very, very, very beautiful. It's like, if you see a video, you tend to admire it a lot. Yeah, on Discovery as well, right, Kiki? Right. So again, when we talk about a snake, yes, we are terrified with the thought of a snake. We get, a lot of, goosebumps. Oh my God, this is snake. We get fear. But yes, it is beautiful also. Now let's get started. What the story tells about a doctor. The person we are going to talk about is a doctor, a snake, and the mirror. Right. One more thing I want to say, Sahiba is one of the students who's trying to come in the class. But, anybody who's friend with Sahiba, kindly let her know that she needs to come up with the class in section. Right. Manasvi, continue with the first one, please.
Has a snake ever coiled itself around any part of your body? A full-blooded cobra. All of us feel silent. The question came from the homeopath. The topic came up when we were discussing snake. We listened
Attentively.
attentively as the doctor continued with his tale.
Okay. So when
It
we
was
talk
a
about this is a question. So now the chapter, the chapter is starting on with the question. The question is, has a snake ever coiled itself? Coiled is basically grabbed. Okay. Has a snake actually coiled yourself? Ever, just tied yourself or just gone on through any part of your body, right? And what kind of a snake? A full-blooded cobra. I hope you guys are aware of what a cobra is, right? The most poisonous snake we talk about. Okay, so a full-blooded cobra. Okay, and this question, where the question is coming from? The question is coming from basically a session, a meeting which was going on among the doctors of homeopathy. Homeopath, what is homeopath? We talk about homeopathy. If you guys are aware, homeopathy, homeopathic doctors are there, right? Allopathic is basically what? Wherein we get the tablets and different things. Homeopath is basically they have their own, different kind set of, medications. They give you small, balls of tablets wherein they are quite sweet. Okay, so that is basically homeopath. So now we get an idea, we get a gist in the first stanza or in the first paragraph that the doctor is what? The doctor is basically a homeopathic doctor, right? And they're discussing about snakes, right? They're discussing about the snakes, and he's amazed by the question the person whosoever is attending the meeting or whosoever is taking the meeting is actually asking. The person is trying to ask that, have you ever been coiled by a cobra? So everybody is mute. Nobody is tending to answer this question. Manasvi, continue, please.
It was a hot summer night about 10 o'clock. I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my home. I heard a noise from above as I opened the door. The sound was a familiar one. One could say that the rats and I shared the room. I took out my box of matches and lightened the kerosene lamp on the table.
Okay, thank you, Manasvi. So when we talk about this, what does it say? That it was a summer night, right? And about 10 o'clock. So he was entering his house, right? And I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. So now he had a meal in, outside. He did not cook inside his home. And then when he came back to his own house, what did he say? That one, if somebody else would come into my room, he or she would think that I live with rats, because that house was too much filled with rats, right? And what did he do next? He lighted his kerosene lamp, and he took out the matches. That means kerosene lamp, if we have oil in there. Okay, the kerosene oil is there, and we have the lamp in there, right? And it is lighted by a matchstick. Okay, so this is what exactly he was doing to do. Now with this also, we tend to know that he was lighting up a kerosene lamp. Why would somebody light up a kerosene lamp if he has electricity in the house? If we have electricity in the house, what will we do? We come from outside, we turn on the lights and the fans, right? We don't turn on with the lamp, right? A kerosene lamp, we will not light it up. So we also get a gist that this person was merely not having electricity in his house. Okay, we'll get to know the further afterwards. So now next one, Suhani, kindly start reading from the second paragraph, please.
The house was not electrified. It was a small rented room. I had just set up medical practice and my earrings were merged. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase along with some shirts and dhotis. I also possessed one solitary black coat which I was then wearing.
Okay, thank you, Suhani. So when we talk about this one, what does it say? The house was not electrified. Now, I told you electrified means it was not having electricity, that means. Okay, the reason why he had turned on the lamp, right? So he was not having electricity in the house, and also the house was a rented one. That means it was not his house. He used to, you know, stay on a rent. And I had set up medical practice and my earnings were meager. Meager means in a small quantity. So when we talk about earnings of the doctor, that means he was not very much famous, or you can say well settled, you can say. So he was not having a lot of money with him. So he used to live in a rented house, and also the earnings, that means the money that he used to earn, but in very, very small quantity. Now just imagine the amount he had. He had only 60 rupees in his suitcase, right? And also he had some shorts and those things, and he had only one solitary black suit. Solitary black suit means the only one thing I have which I can wear in all the functions or any, wherever I had to go, wherein I had to dress up. That was one black solitary coat he was having, right? Now, Umang Goyal of ninth B. Kindly start reading from the third paragraph. Continue, Umang. Umang, is there any issue? Okay, Umang, let me just give the chance to someone else. I think some issues are there. Okay, let me give the chance to Vidhi Mahajan. Vidhi Mahajan, continue with this third paragraph, please.
I took off my black coat, white shirt, and not so white vest and hung them up. I opened the two windows in the room. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard. It had a tilted roof with long supporting gables that rested on the beam over the wall. There was no ceiling. There was a regular traffic of rats to and from the beam. I had my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down, but I could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air, but the wind god seemed to have taken time off.
Okay, thank you, Vidhi. Okay, so when we talk about this one, what does the third paragraph say? It says, it is talking about the construction of the house. Now, when we talk about the construction of the house, it was not having proper roof, you can say, right? It was already having a lot of rats in the house, right? And also when we talk about the outer room with one wall facing the open yard, one wall facing the open yard means, that means you're talking about the outer room wherein the last wall is not there. You can just see the outer open yard, right? You can just call it a kind of balcony, you can say. Okay, it had a tilted roof with long supporting gables. Now, what are gables? You can see in the picture, this one, the upper part of the wall with a sloping roof. You can see this. This is called basically a gable, right? That rested on the beam over the wall. So now, even the roof that was there above his room, it was also not straight. It was also tilted, and there was no proper ceiling. That means proper जो cement वगैरह से या the blocks and bricks से जो बनती है ceiling, that was not even there. It was a tilted kind of a structure, you can say, right? And there was a regular traffic of rats to and from the beam. Obviously, we're talking about a lot of rats were there already in the house. So what they used to do, they used to go from the beam to the ceiling to back to the bed, and all this was happening. I had made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down, but I could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda. Veranda is again a balcony, right? For a little air. but the wind god seemed to have taken time off. That means wind god seemed to taken time off means that when I went outside, I thought that there'll be a lot of wind. Okay, cool breeze will be there, but certainly the wind god had taken off. That means there was no cool breeze enough when I went outside. There was no air left. Okay, now let me give the chance to Sharvi. Sharvi, go on with the fourth paragraph, please.
I went back into the room and sat down on the chair. I opened the box beneath the table and took out a book, the Materia Medica. I opened it at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror. A small comb lay beside the room. One feels tempted to look into a mirror when it is near one. I took a look. In those days, I was a great admirer of beauty and I believed in making myself look handsome. I was unmarried and I was a doctor. I felt I had to make my presence felt. I picked up a comb and ran it through my hair and adjust the parting so that it looks straight and neat. Again, I hear that sound from above.
Okay, thank you, Sharvi. It's not here, beta. It's heard. Heard. It's heard. Okay. Okay. So what does it say? The fourth paragraph says that the doctor, he was not able to sleep. Okay. Certainly it happens sometimes. Some nights you're not able to sleep. So what did he do? He went on. Okay. And then he sat on the chair and he took out one box that was beneath. That means that was under the table, and he took out a book. The name of the book was Materia Medica. That means obviously he was a doctor, so he was quite tempting, or he was just planning to go on with reading a book that is Materia Medica. Okay, so what did he do? He opened the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror. A small comb lay beside the mirror. So now usually it happens, whenever I used to, if I'm planning to study or I'm planning to read a book, and certainly a mirror is there, what is the first thing we do? We tend to look in the mirror first, check our looks, and then go on with the thing what we are doing. Even it happens in malls and all also. We just go through, I'm just shopping or we're doing something, and certainly a mirror comes in. So even if we are not bothered about anything, we still tend to look in the mirror one time. Okay, so now this is exactly what was happening with the yes, exactly, Anana, showroom glasses as well. So it happens, right? So whenever we tend to see a mirror besides us or wherever so we tend to have a look like how we are looking. Are we looking good or not? We kind of get possessive about our looks that way, right? So the same happened with this person also who was a doctor, right? And obviously there was a mirror beside, so he started looking at himself. He was obviously unmarried. So now here, unmarried basically is the issue. It's not basically, it happens with married people also. It's just that he was an unmarried bachelor, right? So he was just more possessive about the looks, you can say, right? And what he did, he took out the comb and he started parting his hair, right? So now usually what we can say, the boys and the men have this tendency, even the girls also, we are curious and we are possessive about our hair, right? We are looking good or not. So this is exactly what the person was also doing. He started combing his hair, okay, to make them straight and neat. Let's go on with the fifth paragraph. And the person, Ananya Dhingra. Continue, please, the fifth paragraph.
I took a close look at my face in the mirror. I made an important decision. I would shave daily and grow a thin mustache to look more handsome. I was after all a bachelor and a doctor. I looked into the mirror and smiled. It was an attractive smile. I made another earth-shaking decision. I would always keep that attractive smile on my face to look more handsome. I was after all a bachelor and a doctor, two on top of it.
Okay. So when we talk about this one, what does he say in the fifth paragraph? He says that he took two decisions. The first important decision was that he would shave daily. That means obviously it happens, the people who don't shave will a lot of time, it happens, it is for men basically. So then don't shave, they look shabby, they look lethargic, right? So that is one of the things he said, that in order to enhance my personality, in order to look more handsome, in order to look more attractive, what I'll do is I'll shave daily, right? And I'll grow thin mustache. Mustache is basically what the what I can say. I hope you guys are aware of muche bolte hain usko. Okay, so that is basically mustache. He planned to grow a thin mustache, right? To look more handsome. And the second decision he took was that he would always have an attractive smile on his face. Now, this is one of the things that is going on for all the people in the world, that they should always have an attractive smile on the face. And that is one of the things that the doctor also decided to do, that he would have attractive smile on the face in order to look more handsome. Reason, obviously, he was a bachelor, and also on the top of it, he was a doctor. So this paragraph, if you see the fifth paragraph, is very, very important, because you get a lot of questions according to this. What were the two earth-shaking decisions, right? Earth-shaking decision. Why earth-shaking decision? Because this was, about to change his life, right? His perspective of the life. So now the two important earth-shaking decisions he took. Let me just ask you guys, what were the two earth-shaking decisions he took in his life? Anybody who could answer? I'm waiting in the chat box. You need to write. Two earth-taking decisions he took. Okay. Yeah, I got the first answer from Ananya. Showroom glasses. Oh, sorry. He will always keep a smile on his face. Okay. Mehek, to shave daily. Okay. To have smile. Absolutely right. Okay, everyone. I got the answers from you. Rashi, Suhani, Shruti, Haridev, Ananya, Mehek. Okay, you guys are right. So this is basically the two earth-shaking decisions he took, which were about to change his perspective and revolve his life around. Right. Let me just give the chance to someone else now. Muskan Singh of 9th B. Muskan, continue with the 6th paragraph, please.
I got up, paced up and down the room. Then another lovely thought struck me. I would marry. I would get married to a woman doctor who had plenty of money and a good medical patient. She had to be fat for a valid reason. If I made some silly mistake and needed to run away, she should not be able to run after me and catch me. With such thoughts in my mind, I resumed my seat in the chair in front of the table. There were no more sounds from above. Suddenly there came a dull thud, as if a rubber tube had fallen to the ground. Surely nothing to worry about. Even so, I thought I would turn around and take a look. No snoozer had a turn than a fat snake
Wriggled.
what is this? Wiggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. The snakes landed on me and my turning were
Simultaneous.
simultaneous.
Okay, thank you, Muskan. So when we talk about the 6th paragraph, what does it say? Firstly, he was thinking about his own perspective. And then one more thing, what he did, he was deciding that, okay, I will also get married. And now the, plotting and planning, what kind of plotting and planning he did, he said that I will get married to a woman who is also a doctor, because he was also a doctor. So he wanted to get married to a doctor only. And he said that I will marry a woman doctor who had plenty of money. Reason being, he was he did not have that much money, so he wanted to get married to a person who had a lot of money and a good medical practice. Now, one hilarious or humorous thing you can say about this doctor is what kind of thing he was planning, that the woman should be fat enough. Reason, what valid reason he was having, that once if I made any mistake and I had to run away, that the person should not come after me, the woman should not run after me and catch me. So that was a valid reason of himself. So now this is very hilarious kind of a thing. Okay, now when we put on with the further chapter, now the entry of the snake happens, right? How already he was, in the previous paragraphs, you already heard that a lot of things were happening, that he was able to, hear a lot of sound from the above tubes and the beams, right? And suddenly what happened? Thoughts were obviously channeling into his mind, but suddenly what happened? He heard a loud thud. Thud is basically when a thing falls loudly, that is called a thud. The sound is called a thud. So he actually, heard a long thud, as if a rubber tube had fallen on the ground. Right now, just imagine a snake from out, from a beam coming down on the floor. So now what will happen? It will obviously create a sound. That is basically the sound of the snake, that it had fallen. Right now, when he see, no sooner that I had turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair. Wriggled means certainly crawling down the chair where he was sitting. So just imagine wherever you are sitting and the snake comes up behind you, right? So that is exactly what was happening with him. Okay, so the snake actually came up and it wriggled on his chair, and then it landed on my shoulder. That means from the chair, where did it land? It landed on his own shoulder, right? The snake landed on me and my turning was simultaneous. Simultaneous means I was numb. Obviously, he was not able to react on the thing. He was not able to move. He was just thinking, what should I do? How should I do? And what should be my reaction for the same, right? Okay, so let me give a chance to someone else now. Krish Gupta of 9th B. Kindly start on with the 7th paragraph, please.
I didn't jump. I didn't tremble. I didn't cry out. There was no time to do any such thing. The snake slithered along my shoulder and coiled around my left arm above the elbow. The hood was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. It would not be correct to say merely that I sat there holding my breath. I was turned to stone, but my mind was very active. The door opened into darkness. The room was surrounded by darkness. In the light of the lamp, I sat there like a stone image in the flesh.
Okay. Thank you, Krish. So when we talk about the 7th paragraph, what does it say? It is actually telling and describing the state of that doctor when the snake came upon. So what was his reaction? He did not jump. He did not tremble. He did not cry out. Okay. In fact, he actually became a stone. You know why it is being compared as a stone? Reason being that the stone, if you talk about a stone, what does it happen? It does not do anything, right? The same reaction, or you can say the same situation was of the doctor as well. He was not able to react anything because all he could see was a snake going on. Though his mind was very active, but he did not do anything. He did not move it. He did not move. Right. So when we talk about this one, what was the state of the snake? He slithered around my shoulder and coiled around my left arm above the elbow. So now what happened? Through the shoulder, he went on coiling through the through the left arm, right? And it was hardly 3 to 4 inches from his face. So now you can just imagine the situation of the doctor. He was just going on seeing a snake coiling him around the shoulder and then slithering off towards the left arm above the elbow, right? And the head of the snake was just barely 3 to 4 inches away from his face. So now the room was surrounded by darkness. Obviously, it was night. In the light of the lamp, I sat there like a stone, image in the flesh. Image in the flesh means because all the doctor was for a snake was a piece of flesh, that's it. Because it was just merely about 1 or 2 minutes that the snake could just bite him and he would be finished. So now the further chapter we'll be reading tomorrow. Let's just have some of the suspense. What exactly happened? What exactly happened that the snake actually took on with the mirror and started admiring his beauty as well. So we'll talk about it tomorrow. I hope you guys understood. Just the rules. I'll wait for your answers in the chat box till the time I'm taking the video of the attendance. You need to tell you understood the chapter or not. And the further we'll be continuing tomorrow. No homework as usual, but yeah, you just have to go through the chapter which we read till now. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the doubt classes, right? And Manasvi, be ready with the thought tomorrow. Okay, class. So I'm getting a lot of text. No doubt, ma'am. It is all clear. Right. So thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow now. Okay, everyone.